Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay. This is actually Game 3 in the GameFaqs tournament featuring bodybuilding against Blink. We've watched Game 1, we've watched Game 2, we've witnessed the highs and lows of both matches, and you know what? I was incredibly thankful not to have done it alone. I'm actually here with none other than Bone Carlos, the man who put together the tournament. How about you give us once again a hearty hello?
Hello.
That's actually a petite hello. The confusion is due to the excessive amounts of inebriation that's actually witnessed by both of the casting participants in this build. Yes.
I would say excessive on your end because of the fact that you are a lightweight, sir. I am on halfway through a bottle.
Yeah, normally I would be disagreeing with the fact that I'm a lightweight, but this has actually been empirically proven that I am a lightweight indeed, and I can't argue with the logic.
Well, I mean, lightweight compared to me. I'm 2 steps away from an alcoholic, which is 1 step more than John McClane was in Die Hard 3.
Yep, and as long as you don't regret it, you're not actually an alcoholic. You're just somebody who goes to parties.
As long as I don't regret it, I'm not an alcoholic. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's the definition.
Legit. Okay, anyways, back to the game. We have bodybuildings spawning as the red Protoss. His opponent is going to be Blink, spawning as the green pieces, and Blink, dude, go pink. Go pink or go home. And tell us about these players.
Yeah, the most interesting thing to know is that Blink is in gold and bodybuilding is in masters. And even though there's such a wide skill differential, we still find ourselves in the ace match. We've had 1 win to bodybuilding, 1 win to Blink. So even though there's a large difference in leagues, there's actually a minor difference in skill differential. And that just shows you how chaotic a game of StarCraft can be, even though you're supposed to have an easy win from bodybuilding. Blink managed to take him by surprise, kind of take him off guard, and score a win early on. Bodybuilding answered back, forced Blink on 1 base, and Blink wasn't able to answer back. So on a map like Tal'Darim, I think Blink has a lot of options, a lot of choices to make. I'm hoping that he's experienced enough to make it, and only time will tell.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Tal'Darim also, I know I quote-unquote took over the organization of this tournament. The original player kind of just left and disappeared. He organized the participants and then just left. So it was up to me to take care of the map, the pool, and everything. And I decided to add Tal'Darim Alternative just because I'm kind of a douche that way, and everyone hates Tal'Darim. Everyone hates Tal'Darim. I decided to add it just for the heck of it, and as you saw from the quotes, from the chit-chat between both players, they did not like Tal'Darim. I understand why. It is a wide-open expansion, or a wide-open area to the main base of either player, and this is just screaming 4-gate in a PvP.
Yeah, this type of map, Tal'Darim especially, that phase in StarCraft was very prone to the sort of aggression that you see out of a lot of gateways. Whether it's a 4-gate, a 2-gate, a 7-gate, you can really suffer from a lot of aggression that's capable of decreasing the distance between the 2 bases. I mean, if you look down on the mini-map, you can see how huge the difference is between the 2 bases. But with Protoss, with the proxy pylon, you can mitigate that. And I think bodybuilding is more of the player in position for that. He's got the 4 gateways already down. Blink has 2 gates. The 3rd one beginning to start just now, so I think Blink's going to be in more of a defensive stance, and it's going to be bodybuilding's chance to take advantage of that.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially since both players are at the same food count, but bodybuilding already has 4 gates up. He's already transforming into warp gates. He already has his proxy pylon, while at the same time Blink barely got his 3rd, doesn't have warp gate up. He is quote-unquote defensive, but he isn't going to be in the world of hurt, even though he's getting his Twilight Council up, which is I don't recommend in a PvP on Tal'Darim Altar to go that fast of a Twilight Council.
Yeah, this is something we saw Blink do in the last game, is he got that super early Twilight Council. He got the Blink up, and he used it to great effect to snipe that Warp Prism. In that scenario, it paid off, but we don't see any Robo Bay coming out of bodybuilding. We don't see any opportunity for Blink to abuse that advantage, and I think that in the end, Blink's not going to be enough to swing the advantage towards him. It's again really going to depend on how much aggression we see out of bodybuilding, how much aggression we see that Blink's not capable of holding off, and how long it takes Blink to take his own expansion in respect to bodybuilding. Really, time will tell as bodybuilding throws down his own Twilight Council in the main.
Yeah, no, definitely. And in the whole meantime, bodybuilding is just token out that initial scattering probe. Took care of any kind of proxy pylons. He took care of that probe, so he is feeling safe, A-okay, with his own proxy pylon in the mix. And right now, even though both players are seemingly at the same kind of food count, quote-unquote 8+ in bodybuilding's favor, they both kind of have the same army count with the Stalker army, but bodybuilding has those 3 extra zealots. So at this moment, it seems like an even match, but I would definitely give it in the favor of bodybuilding since it is at exactly the 835 mark right now.
Yeah, and I agree with the mix that Blink currently is feeling is probably going to lose out to bodybuilding's aggression. But with that Blink and with the defender's advantage, I think Blink will be able to hold the aggression coming out of bodybuilding, just as long as he plays very defensively, doesn't have to push, doesn't have to be very greedy, and doesn't engage those zealots right away.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that Blink did finish up just in time. Not sure if bodybuilding knew that was going on, knew that was happening. Blink is down for Blink. Oh, God, I love that. Blink.
It's so hard not to point that out because you feel clever.
Yeah, no, like, round of applause. Blink. If you could take anything from this tournament, Blink, Protoss, Blink, boom. You automatically have my heart for you, but the fact that bodybuilding is putting up his natural expansion already up, and this is what I feel in PvP. You quote-unquote aggress, or you are aggressive, and you could fake that aggression and fake out your opponent and take your own expansion, and by the time you realize what's going on, your opponent already has an expansion up, and you're just sitting still on one base.
Yeah, and with Blink, he's got those 3 gateways up, and if bodybuilding pushes and fakes Blink into making another round of Stalkers, making another round of Zealots, that's the majority of the minerals needed to throw down an expansion. And every second that bodybuilding manages to have this expansion up is another second that he's going to have a mineral income increase. He's going to have a economic advantage over his opponent, and he's going to be able to capitalize on that, just like he was able to do in the second game, which is what gave him the win in that second game.
Yeah, no, and definitely, and at this moment right now, he already has the Harvester advantage 23-38. If my math serves correctly, that's plus a 15 in bodybuilding's favor. Right now, not much of a factor, but in the next 30 to 40 seconds, that will be the differentiating point in this entire matchup. I mean, right now, Blink is trying to push out. He's already putting on his own proxy pylon, but he has a mass Stalker army with Blink with a single Immortal. But to defend, bodybuilding has plenty of Zealots, a couple of Sentries, and a single Immortal. And as long as his force fields hold, he'll be A-okay, especially with that natural expansion.
Yeah, we saw this in last game. Blink is feeling cramped. He's not capable of getting the expansions out that he needs, so he's forcing an engagement that he really doesn't want. He wants to be able to utilize the mobility of the Blink Stalkers, and unfortunately he's forced into a direct engagement, which is what he's angling for right now.
Right now, yeah, definitely. He warped in those Zealots on the high ground. They got picked off immediately, and right now it's a nice mix from bodybuilding, Immortal, Stalker, Sentry, Zealot up against pure Stalker and Immortal. Even though those Stalkers did have Blink, it's not so much in the favor of Blink. Bodybuilding is pulling off those probes, but that is really not necessary since the fact that Blink was forced to retreat. That mixed composition unit of bodybuilding, it just won out over Blink's army.
Yeah, and that's something that can't be overstated, is the fact that if you have a mixed army like bodybuilding who continues to utilize those Zealots to charge in, and ultimately forces the GG out of Blink. You have that mixed army that bodybuilding is using. You can force an engagement from Blink. He's got those Blink stalkers. He should have been utilizing the mobility. He should have been blinking to the top ground, which was scouted by the observer, and picking off probes rather than engaging the main army. And instead, because he was feeling so cramped, he forced an engagement that he couldn't win, and ultimately lost the game. And that just shows you that it's not really a mistake that Blink made. It was a decision that bodybuilding made that won the game for him.
And yeah, definitely before we cut out on this cast, this is just what I would like to point out on experience. On pure experience. Yes, bodybuilding, Blink Gold, Masters, this is just what separates both players. I would safely assume that bodybuilding has played more games across any video game kind of standpoint. Bodybuilding has more experience. He knows what's going on. He can make the right judgment. He can make the right decision and force Blink into that just narrow choke point, which just caused Blink to just downfall on his own self.
Yeah, and even if that engagement didn't happen, even if Blink didn't push out, Blink was on one base, bodybuilding was on two, and the longer it took Blink to engage bodybuilding would have gotten farther and farther ahead. I mean, the economic tab shows you that there is a difference in the amount of money that they were pulling in, both on minerals and gas, and Blink knew that he was behind, and it was good that he decided to be aggressive. It was just bad in the manner that he was aggressive.
Definitely.
All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. Just saying that was Game 3 of the matchup. Looks like bodybuilding is advancing. He's at Masters League. Kudos to Blink for taking a win off of someone 2 leagues above you. Definitely no shame there. And no shame in watching this dual cast between me and Bone Carlos. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have a comment, you could leave me a comment. If you have a game you want to cast, you could PM me here, Reddit, Game FAQs, whichever. I will see you guys later. Bone Carlos, anything to say?
I love pizza.
All right, pizza is fantastic. I'll see you guys later. Bye.